All right, today, tutoring, February 22nd, 2017, TMI Middle School, or Intermediate School. I'm Mr. McMurdo. Today, we're going to go over the following problems. If you're at home, read it. If you want to pause it while you're at home and jot some notes down, that would be great. Because I'm sure those of you in the class wrote down notes and important stuff.
Oh, yeah.
Because if you didn't, you're wasting my time. Alright, so if we read it. At the park, there are several hiking trails that all start and end at the same location. The river loop is 7/8 of a mile long. So when I go through, I like to identify the important information, underline it, circle it, write it down. The Hills Loop is 5/8 of a mile long. The Scenic Loop is 2/3 of a mile long. Spell that right? S-C-E. Is 2/3 of a mile long. And the Bluff Valley Loop is 3/4 of a mile long. So somehow, some way, somewhere, someone on your paper, you've identified that these pieces of information are important. Just thinking, Lizzie, which ones of these trails are greater than a mile? River Loop. Why do you say that? That doesn't make it greater than a mile. Simone, which ones are greater than a mile? Jamie?
Okay, wait. I think it's Scenic Loop.
None of them are greater than a mile.
Oh, it was a trick question.
7/8 of a mile. 8/8 would be one whole mile. This is less than 8/8. Remember, 1 is if you have the same numerator as denominator.
I was like
5/8, 2/3, 3/4. So none are greater than a mile.
so our answer should be greater than a mile.
No, we're not. I haven't asked. We haven't started working on the questions yet.
What?
Which ones of these are greater than 1/2 of a mile? Ryan?
River Loop, Hills Loop, Scenic Loop, and Bluff Valley.
Good. They're all greater than 1/2 of a mile. They are all greater than 1/2 of a mile. Question A says the Kane family sets out to hike all 4 trails in one day. What is the combined length of all 4 trails? So A, we have to find the length of all 4. So how Miss Caitlin, how would I find the combined length of all 4?
Multiply?
Multiply. Let me ask you this. If I said the river loop was 4 miles, the Hills Loop was 6 miles, the Scenic Loop was 3 miles, and Bluff Valley was 4 miles, and I asked you for the combined length, how would you find it?
Add.
So we want to add, for A, we want to add all 4 together. We want to add all 4 together. So Simone, tell me what you did to add all 4 together.
I added 2 of them at a time. And
Okay.
I added their answers.
Good. So let's take 7/8 plus 5/8. Can you add 7/8 plus 5/8 the way they're written, Simone?
Yes,
Okay. Why?
because they have the same denominator.
They have the same denominator. So Simone, what's 7/8 plus 5/8?
12/8.
12/8. Yes, sir.
So if you record, I'll talk to you later.
Okay. You sure?
Yeah, it's just something about that happened down there that we can talk to the kids about tomorrow.
Okay. All right. So now Simone added 2 at a time. We add these 2 at a time. So the scenic loop is 2/3 plus Bluff Valley is 3/4. Simone, can we add those the way they're currently written?
No,
Why not?
because they don't have the same denominator.
They do not have the same denominator. So what would be our common denominator, Simone? If we want to find our least common denominator, 12. Good. 6, 8, 9, 12, 12. So our least common denominator would be 12. Now I have to multiply these by fractions that equal 1. So I don't change the value. So Simone, what would this fraction that equals 1 be?
4/4.
4/4. And what would my numerator be?
8/12.
Okay, so I'd have 8/12. Simone, what would this fraction be here?
4/4.
3/3. Thank you.
Wait, yeah.
And I would have 9/12. So Simone, 8/12 plus 9/12 equals
17/12.
17/12. Okay, so Simone added these 2 together. Then she added these 2 together. And according to what Simone said, we need to add these 2 together. 17/12 and 12/8. Which they're both improper fractions, but we don't need to change them until we get to the answer at the end. Okay? We don't have to change them until we get to the end. Alright, so hopefully you have this written down, because I'm going to erase it, because I need some room. So we have 12/8 plus 17/12. 12/8 plus 17/12. Ryan, can I add these the way they're written?
No.
Why not?
Because they don't have the same denominator.
They don't have the same denominator. Hey, Ryan, what would be the common denominator?
24.
24.
After you do that, can I explain how I got my answer?
Yes,
Okay.
24. So, Ryan,
Yes.
I need to multiply 12/8 by a fraction that equals 1, so what should I choose?
3.
3/3. Excellent. And I get what?
36.
36 over 24. And I need to multiply 17/12 by a fraction that equals 1. What should I select?
2.
2. And 17 times 2 is what, Ryan?
36.
34. Good. And this is an addition problem. So now I have 36 24ths plus 34 24ths. And if I add that together, it equals what?
70 24.
70 24ths. So the answer, the length of all 4 trails is 70 24ths.
But we have to simplify it.
We have to simplify it, which means first we're going to turn it into a mixed number.
Yes.
To change an improper fraction to a mixed number. Yes, ma'am.
Oh, sorry.
Change an improper fraction to a mixed number. That's the numerator. divided by the denominator. So Jamie, how many times does 24 go into 70?
Wait.
Think of quarters. How many quarters could you use to go into 70 cents without going over?
Not what I did.
Well, I'm asking you the question.
Oh.
How many times does 24 go into 70?
Wait. 3 times.
3 times. So it's 24 times 3.
Oh, wait, no. Did I say 3? I meant 2.
Oh, you meant 2. Okay. She meant 2. All right, and so what's 24 times 2?
48.
48. All right, subtract 6, 10, 6. Is that right? No, 22. Sorry. 22. Okay, so now my mixed number is 2 and 22 24ths. Is that correct?
Yes. No.
No. Because I can simplify 22 24ths. What can I simplify it by? Caitlin?
2.
2. I can divide these both by 2.
I did it differently.
And so I'm going to get 2 and 11 twelfths miles. 2 and 11 twelfths miles. So my answer choice.
Oh. Wait, I didn't get that.
What'd you get?
I got 3 10/24ths.
Okay, where did we go different?
Oh, that's because. Oh, you know what? That's because I didn't simplify it enough. Yeah. Okay. What I did is that since like 2 denominators are 8 and 3/4
Can be made into 8.
Yeah, and then so instead of 4/8, I converted it into 6/8, or 3/4 into 6/8, and then I just added that plus 2/3.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, so Ryan added these two together because it was real easy to make 3/4 into 6/8. Okay, so as long as I did all my math right, the answer is 2 and 11 12.
Okay, wait, let me check if I got 2 and 11 12. You can do like an extra.
All right. Well, let's check it. I can do that too. 7/8 plus 5/8 plus 6/8 is 7. Yeah. 18/8.
Okay.
18/8
12
plus 2/3
plus
equals 24.
3, 4.
So multiply by 3/3. 4, 2, 54, and 16. So that should be the same.
Yeah, I got. Did you get 2 5/12?
No, I had 2 and 11 twelfths.
Oh, okay.
Okay, because this should
I
add
did
7.
something wrong.
This should be 70 24ths. Then I divide 24 into 70. It goes in 2 times. Which is 48. That's 2. That's 22. So 2 remainder 22 is 2 and 22 24ths. And then if I divide 22 24ths by 2, I get 11 twelfths.
Okay.
Okay? So A is 2 and 11 twelfths. I'm not going to mess with this because I'm assuming this is going to be important for all questions. Question B. Lindsay said the difference in length between the river loop and the scenic loop is 5/8 of a mile. So Lindsay says the difference between river loop and scenic loop is 5/8. And Tricia says the difference between the two trails is 5/24. So Tricia says 5/24. So we need to figure out who's right. And we need to explain why they're right. So Caitlin, the word difference tells us we have to do what? Subtract. So we want to find the difference between the river loop and the scenic loop. So we want to find the difference between 7/8 and 2/3. Which one's greater, 7/8 or 2/3? Caitlin?
7/8.
7/8. That means I'm going to take 7/8 and subtract 2/3. I'm going to take 7/8 and subtract 2/3. So Lizzie, I need to find my common denominator for 8 and 3. 24. I'll change these both to 24. That's by 3/3. That's 21. That's by 8/8. Is that right? 8 times 3 is 24? Is that right? Yes?
Yes.
So I got 16. 21 minus 16 is 5. So 5/24. So Tricia is right. How did she get 5/8?
I know how.
How did she get 5/8?
She thought both the denominators were the same, so she did 7/8 minus
2/8
in her mind, and she got 5.
Yeah. So she just did 7/8, changed this to 2/8 as a common denominator, but didn't change the numerator, and that's how she got 5/8. Now, is 5/24, Simone? Is 5/24 less than or greater than a half? Less than a half. Less than a half. Good. So B was Tricia. Is that right?
Yes.
All right, C. Kyle hiked the Bluff View Loop 3 times this week. So Kyle, he's say the Bluff Valley. Three times. So Kyle did the Bluff Valley 3 times. Draw a strip diagram to model how far Kyle hiked this week. So the Bluff Valley is 3/4, right? So if we made a strip diagram, and this is into fourths, and he hiked it 3 times. So he hiked it 3 times. Each time he did 3/4 of a mile. Okay, so each time he did 3/4 of a mile. So Jamie, using this strip diagram, Monday 3/4 of a mile, Tuesday 3/4 of a mile, Wednesday 3/4 of a mile. What does that add up to? 9/4.
And
Is that more than? Is that greater than or less than a mile?
Or greater.
Greater than a mile.
It's 2 miles and 1/4.
Okay, well let's check. Our denominator. Okay, our numerator divided by our denominator. 4 goes into 9.
2 times.
2 times, subtract, you get 1, 2 remainder 1, which equals 2 and 1/4. 2 and 1/4. So that's how far Kyle went during the week hiking just the Bluff Valley Trail 3 times.
Wait, so this class ends at 4?
I don't know, somewhere around there.
Okay.
So C was 2 and 1/4. C was 2 and 1/4. And we explained how we found it. We just showed the strip diagram. 3/4 plus 3/4 is 6/4. Plus 3/4 is 9/4. Questions on that one?
No, sir.
Awesome
So,
sauce.
If you didn't have to do a strip diagram, would you have done 3/4 times 3?
You could have. I probably would have done 3/4 plus 3/4 plus 3/4. But you could do 3/4 times 3,
Yeah.
which is basically what the strip diagram did. Okay. And D. Annie drank 2 cups of water in all when she hiked the river loop on Thursday. So Thursday.
Wait, is this going to be a capacity thing?
I don't know. I haven't read the whole thing yet.
Oh.
Thursday, she hiked the river loop. And she drank 2 cups of water. Each time she drank her water bottle, she drank 1/3 of the cup of water. So each time, 1/3 of a cup. And how many times did Ari drink from her water bottle? So how many drinks did she take?
Wait.
So we want to figure out how many drinks she took.
So,
How many drinks she took. So she took a total, she drank a total of 2 cups. Each time she drank 1/3 of a cup. Each time she drank 1/3 of a cup. Now let me ask you this. 1/3. Less than or greater than a half?
Less than.
Less than a half. Less than a half. So, if she drank twice, are we going to have
Higher than a...
more than a cup or less than a cup?
More.
We have less than a half plus less than a half. That's going to be less than a whole, right?
No? What? Wait. Oh, yes, it is.
Yes. Less than a half plus less than a half is going to be less than 1 whole. Okay? So if she drank 1/3 plus 1/3, so that's 1 drink, 2 drinks. How much is that?
2/3.
2/3. Plus another drink, so that's my 3rd drink, equals what? What's 2/3 plus 1/3? 3/3.
Instead of 1/3.
1/3.
1/3.
1/3.
1/3.
So 3/3 equals what? 1 cup. So if 3 drinks gave her 1 cup, how much would equal 2 cups? How many drinks? 3 drinks? Well, 2 drinks equals 2/3 of a cup. Let's say 3 drinks. 1, let's make it a... Here, let's go. 1 cup equals 3 drinks. 2 cups equals 6 drinks. So she drank from her water bottle 6 times. She drank from her water bottle 6 times. Questions? No. All right. Thank you for coming today. Peace out. God bless. Love you.